The first bell had already rung when she slipped into class. Again, her hair was slightly tangled, her uniform wrinkled, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. Mrs. Thompson, her middle school teacher, watched as the 12-year-old girl quietly took her seat, avoiding eye contact. This was the 5th time that month she'd arrived late, and while other students might get a stern talking to, something about this girl's demeanor made Mrs. Thompson pause. There was a quiet sadness in the way she moved, a weariness that didn't match her age. At first, the teacher assumed the usual culprits. Maybe she was oversleeping or her family was disorganized. But as the weeks passed, the excuses stopped coming altogether. The girl would simply arrive late and apologetic, her backpack clutched tightly to her chest like it held everything she owned. Then came the day Mrs. Thompson noticed the faint smell of gasoline and fast food lingering around her, the way her shoes were wearing thin at the soles. Little clues, easy to miss if you weren't looking. But Mrs. Thompson was looking. One morning, after the girl stumbled in nearly 20 minutes late, the teacher gently pulled her aside. "Sweetheart," she said, crouching to meet her eyes, "can you tell me what's really going on?" The girl hesitated, her lips trembling. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, she confessed, "We don't have a home anymore." What unfolded next was a story no child should ever have to tell. Her father, a single dad working overnight shifts at a warehouse, had fallen behind on rent months earlier. With no family to turn to and shelters full, they'd been living in their aging sedan, moving from parking lot to avoid suspicion. Some nights they slept outside the 24-hour laundromat where the fluorescent lights made them feel safer. Others, they parked behind grocery stores, praying no one would knock on their windows. Mornings were the hardest. Her father would drop her off at school before his shift ended, but without a place to shower or prepare. She often arrived looking and feeling like she'd just survived a storm. She'd been hiding it for months, terrified of what would happen if anyone found out. Would they take her away from her dad? Would people laugh at her? The shame was crushing. Mrs. Thompson listened, her heart breaking with every word. That afternoon, she called the school counselor. Within hours, a quiet but urgent mission began, not to punish or report, but to help. The principal arranged for the girl to use the school's showers before class. The cafeteria staff made sure she had breakfast and packed extra food for later. A local charity provided gas cards so her father could keep the car running on cold nights. But the real miracle came when the story reached the community. A retired teacher donated a month's stay at a budget motel. A mechanic fixed their car for free. And then, the breakthrough. A landlord, moved by their story, offered them a small apartment at a price they could afford. The day they got the keys, the girl hugged Mrs. Thompson so tightly the teacher had to fight back tears. This wasn't just a story about poverty. It was about how easily it hides in plain sight. About the students who sit in our classrooms, carrying burdens no child should bear. And most of all, it was a reminder that sometimes the smallest acts of attention and kindness can rewrite someone's entire life. The girl still comes to school early sometimes, not because she has to, but because she wants to. She's on the honor roll now. Her father got a better paying job. And every so often, when she passes Mrs. Thompson in the hall, she'll smile and say, "I made it on time today." Some victories are quieter than others, but they matter just the same.